A couple weeks ago, I held a workshop. My topic of the week was called Common Sense Media is Common Sense, and it was geared towards obviously middle school and high school teachers. And the basis for it was an MLTI workshop that we actually hosted at the technology building that was about teaching our students how to be good digital citizens. Now, one of the tools that we used, or the tool that we used the most, I should say, was Common Sense Media, which is basically supposed to help us teach our students how to avoid risky situations, think before they reveal any public information or personal information online, how to protect their own privacy, how to cultivate a positive digital footprint, such as making sure that their profiles that they put out online are going to reflect the positive aspects of themselves, so that when they get to college application process, they're not an automatic red flag. How to communicate respectfully, how to build community online, how to search effectively, how to determine website credibility, which is a really big problem, and then how to respect creative credit. So those are some pretty huge lessons that we want our students to learn. But it's really hard as a classroom teacher to, I know, come up with the time to make these lessons and then to actually teach them to our students. Sometimes some of these topics can be very challenging for a teacher to discuss in their own classroom. So Common Sense Media is awesome because they have lessons that are already created for you that are geared towards these topics. And the lessons are, in general, student-centered. They involve a lot of role playing, which means that they're more engaging to our students. They do involve some critical thinking to get them thinking beyond just what the textbook or what the lesson is telling them. They already contain some powerful videos, so you don't have to go out and try and find a video that matches the lesson that you're trying to give. They're already there for you, which makes it even easier. And then they can be done whether you're a high-tech or a low-tech teacher. So if you are someone who finds that the laptop is just, especially with all these concerns that we have concerning digital citizenship, if you find that all just a little too scary, any of these lessons that they have can actually be done just pencil and paper if you so choose. Or if you're someone like me who's really comfortable with technology, then you can augment it to meet those higher technology levels. What's great about this is that you don't have to depend on having the computers in order to make these lessons happen. You can do them in your classroom, even if not every kid has a laptop with them. All the lessons are aligned to existing standards such as the AASL, the ISTE standards, and then the Common Core State Standard Initiative. So when you're looking at switching your curriculum over to a standards-based one, then these are great lessons to add in because they are already aligned to standards and they include what those standards are. So we're going to watch this little screencast that I did that will walk you through how you can actually look around the Common Sense Media website. The first thing that you're going to want to do is sign up as a teacher on Common Sense Media, and this little video will talk to you a little bit about how. The first thing that you're going to do when you go to commonsensemedia.org is create an account. Sign up is free and it allows you to access all of their materials and download the lesson plans onto your computer. Click on the sign up button in the upper right hand corner of the screen and then complete the registration form that comes up once you select that you are an adult and that you are an educator. You can also become a parent as well for other access to materials, although as an educator we get access to everything. So fill in your screen name, your email address, your password, and then select whether you want to receive any of their newsletters, as well as agree to their Common Sense Media Terms of Use and Privacy Policy, and then click Sign Up. So it's pretty easy to do to become an educator on there. There's no like verification or anything like that that's done. As long as you have your Bonnie Eagle email address, then you should be all set. So within their website, you have access to free digital citizenship lesson plans, and they are completely free and divided into 8 different categories. The first category is relationships. The second is privacy and security. Then we have internet safety, cyberbullying, which as we all know is a really big concern, their digital footprint and reputation, self-image and identity, information literacy, and then creative credit and copyright. And then they also have additional lessons that are not listed underneath one of these 8 categories that are included in what they call their library. So if you're looking to teach your students about something that isn't included here, then be sure to check out the library. The library itself only goes up to grade 8, but I find that a lot of the materials that you see geared towards a middle school are actually really useful at the high school level as well. The icons that you see next to the title are the icons that match how the lesson plans are actually sorted. So if you know that you're looking for a lesson that involves, for example, relationships and communication, then you know to look for those little talk bubbles, and then any of the lessons that you find with those are going to be aligned to that topic area. So next, let's look at how we can actually access those free lesson plans right on their website. Now that you have created an account, let's look around a little bit and get familiar with the resources that we have available as educators. When you hover on the Educators button, you will see that there are a lot of different resources that you can access just from this menu, but I'm going to actually click on the header for educators to get to their primary screen. Now these are the 7 different categories available to us underneath the Educators panel. The one that I am most concerned about for this workshop is our Digital Citizenship button, so I'm going to click on that. When you come onto this screen, released recently, I believe as early as last week, we now have access to the classroom curriculum via an iBooks textbook. If you have upgraded to Mavericks on your Mac, then you can access iBooks right on your Mac now. The curriculum is available in both a teacher edition as well as a student workbook, both of which include all the videos, the interactive lessons, the assessments, and additional materials. If you don't have access to Mavericks or the iBooks app, then you can also access the curriculum through a printable material through their Scope and Sequence panel, and this is what I'm going to look at today. Their Scope and Sequence is broken down into different lessons based on 8 different categories: internet safety, privacy and security, relationships and communication, cyberbullying, digital footprint and reputation, self-image and identity, information literacy, as well as creative credit and copyright. Within each of these categories, we have a total of 65 lessons that are differentiated by grade level, including lower level, which covers grades K to 2, upper elementary, which covers grades 3 to 5, middle school, which covers grades 6 to 8, and high school, which covers grades 9 to 12. There are 3 units available per grade level, with high school having access to 4 based on the 4 different grade levels. There are 5 lessons per unit, and the units that they have are designed to be cross-curricular so that it doesn't matter what matter you teach, and each lesson spirals unit by unit so that they build upon each other from one unit to the next. As you navigate their Scope and Sequence page, from the drop-down menu on the right-hand side, you can select which grade level you teach at. Now keep in mind, just because the assignments are in the grades 6 to 8 category, for example, doesn't mean that they cannot be used at the grades 9 through 12. And just because assignments are in 3 to 5 doesn't mean that they can't be used at the 6 to 8 level. It is up to you to decide what is going to work best with your students. Now, when you look at your grade level that you teach, you can also limit the resources to just the category that you're interested in. So if your kids need help with internet safety, then you can turn on the internet safety button, scroll down, and the resources that you see that are not grayed out are the resources for that grade level that have to do with internet safety. You can click it back in order to turn on all the other resources. And all the resources are color-coded based on their type of resource across the top. Once you find a resource that you would like to work on, for example, rework, reuse, and remix, you can click on the assignment and it will bring you to the full lesson plan. Now this lesson plan page contains the ability to download or watch the videos that are used for this lesson, as well as to see the lesson in action through a professional development video on the right. The teaching plans themselves are broken down into categories towards the bottom, as well as the alignment to the standards section to tell you what you're actually going to be teaching your students in terms of the standards, vocabulary, and it also does cover the key questions and goals of the lesson. Now, if you're interested in this lesson, I do recommend that you download the lesson material on the orange button at the top. This will give you a PDF document with all the resources in one easy to use place. It will include the grade level, what materials or what skills it's going to cover, as well as all the information that you need to know about this lesson all in one handy document. Feel free to save this onto your hard drive if you want to refer to it later, or if you don't have internet access at home. As you look through the resource, you'll find that the introduction, the teaching moments, as well as the conclusions are all very well documented for you and broken up into clear, easy to understand material. What I do like about their lesson plans is that they do include a script. It gives you some questions to ask your students as well as what you're looking for responses. Although some of the topics may be very easy to talk about, some of the topics that Common Sense covers are a little bit more gray area, such as sexting, and having the script can really help you as a teacher be more comfortable in talking about the subject, as well as providing the necessary support to our students to make the discussion, the lesson, more valuable. Towards the end of the PDF documents, they always include any handouts that you would need to give to the students, as well as any additional materials you might need. This is incredibly handy if you are someone who is not very technically savvy and would like to do this in a more low-tech method versus those of us who are more tech savvy and would rather do this more electronically. So these lessons are not designed to just be done on the computer. You can actually do them with paper and pencil as well, which in my opinion makes them a great resource to use for those emergency subplans as well. As much as I believe this stuff should be taught by the teacher in their classroom during the regular academic day, you can also find a lesson that's going to be applicable no matter when in the school year you might be out, and use it as a backup emergency subplan just in case. So there are a lot of resources, as you can tell, and a lot of thought went into all these lessons that we see on the Common Sense Media webpage. So I certainly recommend that you check them out and see what would work best for you. So now I'm going to walk you through, show you the additional resources that are available on the Common Sense Media webpage, so that way you can really maximize that free membership that you just got. In addition to the free lesson plans that are available on Common Sense Media, they also have a wide range of other resources available to you on their website. The first one that I want you to be familiar with as a teacher is their professional development category, which contains a plethora of information about additional online trainings and webinars that they offer in a couple different arenas, including Edmodo, ThinkFinity, and EdWeb. They also offer a lot of different videos. The videos on Common Sense Media are extremely useful if you are looking to implement one of the lessons into your own classroom, because they demonstrate how the lesson was put into action into a classroom at the similar grade level. So it can help you better predict how the lesson will go and what questions the students might ask that you may not have been expecting. In addition to the professional development resources, they also offer a wide range of reviews on both movies, games, TV shows, books, apps, websites, and music in a couple different categories in these first three arenas. So if you're looking, for example, for a math game for use with your students or your children, then you can navigate to their math game apps category and then look for reviews about different apps that are available to you, as well as the age range that they might be applicable to. The final category that I wanted to also show to you is their Graphite category underneath educators. And Graphite is a similar site to their reviews on Common Sense Media, except that it's really designed for pre-K through 12 educators, and is to help them discover, use, and share the best apps, games, websites, and digital curricula with our students. All of these are unbiased reviews with rigorous ratings and practical insights from their community members. And you can also find some different app flows, blog articles, website reviews, and a bunch of other tools on here. And you actually do have the ability to become a certified educator through Graphite as well. So if you're looking to do something with technology with your students, then you can come onto Graphite and navigate, for example, through their Get Inspired, and then see their app flows. And app flows involve 5 different teaching components, including their hook, direct instruction, a guided practice, an independent practice, and then a wrap-up. And each one of these app flows that you see on here are designed by other creators. And when you come into the app flow, it will walk you through how you would complete this lesson with your student and also demonstrate to you how you would use different applications and websites to support this particular lesson. So there are a lot of different resources available on commonsensemedia.org. Feel free to check them out, and if you have any additional questions about how any of these resources can be used in your own classroom, or if you'd like me to help walk you through a lesson, then just let me know. So I apologize for the little bit of the skips in the video, but I think that it made the most sense to do it that way. So that just about wraps it up. All that I wanted to let you guys know that if you are a teacher at the middle school or the high school and you do use a lesson in your classroom, I would love to know what lesson you're teaching, just so that way we have some sort of idea as to what's going on in our district. I'm going to do my best to track and document what we're doing with CSM, because that way we can become a CSM school or schools, depending on which schools are doing it. And that basically will enable us to share your efforts better with the administration, the school board, and the public, so that we can really have a positive vibe going out there into the community as opposed to one that's more negative. So we want to share what we're doing, all this awesome stuff, as much as possible, and becoming a CSM school would enable us to do that. Again, if you have any questions, comments, or if you'd like me to sit down with you and go over some of these resources and talk to you about how you might want to accomplish some of these, then certainly just let me know. I am always here to help.